look back and see how Bible prophecy has foretold every movement, from the story of Noah and the flood, the 70-week prophecy pointing to the sacrifice of Christ, the corruption and restoration of the sanctuary, and the events of the present day. With this track record, we can know with certainty that we are at the end of the judgment hour, living in the last sliver of time. The days of Noah are done, the door of mercy is almost shut, and the last prophecies of Revelation are being rapidly fulfilled in our midst. The papacy and the United States are allying themselves together. Protestants and Catholics are uniting. The blessings of eating and drinking and giving in marriage is being perverted by millions and sanctioned by law. Religious liberties are being attacked and revoked, and the Pope and members of Congress are paving the way for the legislation of Sunday to curb the evils of an immoral society. Jesus is coming very, very soon. Are you prepared to meet your God?
Back now to our top story, a terrible mystery gripping the world right now. Birds, fish, and all kinds of creatures just dropping dead in huge numbers for what seems like no reason.
Birds just were falling out of the sky.
Dozens of large whales are washing up dead on the shores of Alaska.
Crews are in boats in Sanibel. They're cleaning up hundreds and thousands of dead fish, turtles, and
To unravel a mystery in northeastern New Mexico. More than 100 elk found dead on a ranch about 20 miles north of Las Vegas.
8,000 dead turtle doves in Italy. Hundreds of birds dead in Rockwell, Texas. 500 red-winged blackbirds in Louisiana. 100 birds in Sweden. 3,000 dead red-winged blackbirds in Arkansas. Several hundred dead in Kentucky. On the fish, several hundred snapperfish in New Zealand. Thousands of dead fish in Florida. 40,000 devil crabs in the UK. 80,000 drumfish in Arkansas. 2 million spotted croakers in Maryland in the last 2 weeks.
Scientists are scrambling to investigate what caused that mass die-off. I just want to know why.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of the heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
That's crazy.
A major tsunami has struck northeastern Japan, sending a 4-meter wall of water
Unfolding in
inland.
Indonesia. This after Friday's monstrous earthquake and the disastrous tsunami that followed that earthquake.
If I were in New York and I were looking out and I saw my son or my daughter outside, it would tear my heart out. What would I say? What good message could I leave them?
And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
Pacific coast area of Japan. That tsunami, that huge tsunami you can see hitting Miyagi Prefecture in northern Japan and Sendai City.
This is already one of the most devastating hurricane seasons ever.
Burning objects raining down from the sky after a meteorite exploded above the Earth, causing a meteor shower.
Outbreak. As we come on the air, tornadoes are on the ground in Oklahoma. One reported to be a mile wide.
Raging wildfires in the west. More than a dozen burning across California.
Following the great financial turmoil in the world, maybe natural disasters, and through fear, people are going to run to the church.
The existential threat of our time, the climate crisis, a crisis manifested in natural disasters of epic proportions.
The ecological crisis is essentially a spiritual problem.
The encyclical Praise Be is the most important papal document ever on the environment.
Consume less and buy less. We have to really rethink our lifestyles.
The fact that he's bringing oil executives from BP and other companies to talk about this issue, I think is significant.
And calls for a new environmental morality. The encyclical rests on a simple premise. What sort of world do we want to leave our children?
He recently concluded global warming is a moral issue.
On an issue where activists meet apathy, the world's scientists are doubted, and global institutions ignored, a rock star radical from the Vatican at least gets attention.
And I have been enormously impressed by Pope Francis. We have got to ingrain moral principles and so our economy.
Protestants and Catholics should only join their forces.
I'm the Secretary of the Reformed Church in America, of the Presbyterian Church, the Reformed Church in America, of the Presbyterian Church in the United States. President of the National Baptist Convention of the United States. General Superintendent of the International Pentecost Holiness Church. President of the National Association of Evangelicals. Sarah Bernard Sr., President of the Council of Churches of the City of New York.
The Pope traveled to Sweden to meet with the president of the Lutheran World Federation. The two leaders signed a joint statement pledging to improve relations between Catholics and Lutherans.
Because in 1999, the Roman Catholic Church and the Protestant Lutheran Church signed an agreement that brought an end to the protests.
Signed in 1999, the Declaration put an end to one of the most important issues that separated Catholics and Lutherans since the Reformation. With the agreement, both sides recognize that faith is not the only thing that will lead to salvation, but that works are also necessary.
This brought an end to the protest of Luther. Brothers and sisters, Luther's protest is over. It's yours. If there is no more protest, how can there be a Protestant church? Maybe now we're all Catholics again.
One of the things that God's put on our heart is for us to just kind of lay aside our differences and come together.
When you talk about Pentecostals, charismatics, evangelicals, fundamentalists, Catholics, Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, on and on and on. Well, they would all say, we believe in the Trinity, we believe in the Bible, we believe in the resurrection, we believe salvation is through Jesus Christ. These are the big issues. But the most important thing is, if you love Jesus, we're on the same team.
Protestant leaders will join themselves with the state, and they will form an image to these.
When you look into Benedict XVI's eyes, what do you see? God.
I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute. Where no Catholic prelate would tell the president, should he be Catholic, how to act. And no Protestant minister would tell his parishioners for whom to vote.
That speech has been read, as you know, by millions of Americans. Why did it make you throw up?
Because the first substantive line in the speech says, I believe in America where the separation of church and state is absolute. I don't believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute.
Let's talk about God and the Constitution, Mika.